Okay, this is the first video for how to beat people who only sprinkle. While this is setting up, let me talk just a little bit about strikes. So I'm going to call the group that you start your strike with, so your very first charged group, to be the trigger group, and because this is the thing that you use to set off the strike. So the way that this is going to start is by talking about what we should use for our trigger group. Okay, to start I'm going to flatten the board out a little bit so that I can see the enemy sprinkles. And here comes some now. So now I can see that it goes yellow, teal, red, orange, blue. And I had a teal ball, so I'll start by setting up my trigger group to be one of the enemy sprinkle groups. This one's teal, and then I say to myself teal, 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 teal until a teal one comes up, and I'm good. Now, the reason for doing that was not so clear right there, but the point of it is that when enemy sprinkles fall on top of it, they don't get buried. Instead, it just adds to your attack. So here's another attack that's set up the same way with yellow as its trigger group, because yellow is the leftmost color in the enemy sprinkle pattern. It helps a lot to use the edge group in your enemy sprinkle pattern because that's much more easy to access when you actually have to set off the strike. So the one coming up, I could use red, but I'll pass it up and instead use the dark blue on the right side. Especially when your board is down low, it's going to be a lot easier to get to your trigger group if it's on one of the two edges. Okay, so this is a good way to make it so that your strikes don't get interrupted by enemy sprinkles. In other words, when the dark blue sprinkles fell on top of it there, it didn't bother me at all. I can still set off the strike. But the problem is that your strikes are only going to have at most maybe 4 or 5 groups if you do it this way. So what we need to do is we need to divide the enemy sprinkles. So look at the dark blue group on the right side. More dark blue sprinkles are going to fall there, but the size of your attack is determined mostly by how many separate groups you have. So if I put my own balls there to divide the dark blue sprinkles into 2 pieces, I'll make my attack bigger. So see, now dark blue things fall and I have 2 different groups that were made up mostly of enemy sprinkle balls. Okay, now the problem is that now I can't access my trigger group, which is the teal, because I didn't use one of those edge ones. See how if I had used yellow, or maybe dark blue, then it would have been way easier to get